kind of bend them out. Bend them out. That. Kind of randomly. And what's nice about using this stranded wire is you can just bend this any old shape you want. So each tree will be unique, have its own character. And you can make them as simple and as complicated as you want. Okay. Alright. Actually, it's going to be a fairly simple, quick tree here. Alright. So this is definitely got some possibilities here. And I just put this tree together using about 4 2-inch pieces of stranded wire. The first two tied, bound together from the bottom, split into 2 leaders here, and then attached a couple more up top. So this is a fairly structurally simple tree made out of stranded wire. And there's probably more I could do with it, but put more wire on, more leaders, glue some more, make it a bit more complicated. But I'm not necessarily looking for this to be a total work of art or anything like that, because I want to be able to make trees in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe if you wanted, you could make a couple of really highly detailed trees for up front, if you got a scene up front that's up close to the front edge of the layout. And then maybe you'd want to get really fancy doing that. But actually, maybe I could stick in one more, stick in a leader between these two. I think I'll do that. So anyway, that's basic tree for you. Probably next time I'm going to actually put the goop on the outside to make the trunk and let that dry, and then actually glue some foliage to it. So alright, I think I'd left you yesterday with one tree made using stranded wire. And I decided to take the tree I made and do it over, do another one, this time without the thread. I think you remember last time I was wrapping around with thread. I just used crazy glue to hold this thing together. So the only thing with crazy glue is that I recommend that if you are young in age or young at heart, that you have adult supervision around. So guys, make sure your wife is handy with some nail polish remover to get yourself unstuck. So in case accident happens. So what I did was I made this tree out of 3 separate pieces of wire. Just cut, no, excuse me, not 3, 6 altogether. Okay, 2 to make up the main trunk, 2 wound together, then 1 spliced in the middle for a 3rd leader, and then 3 leaders attached to these other leaders here. So you get a nice fine branch structure this way. And if you want to see me do more of this, I'll probably, as I make some trees, do some in time-lapse mode, so you can kind of get an idea of what I do from beginning to end. You kind of saw what I did yesterday, but always a repeat will help you see what's going on. So what I'm going to be doing next in a little bit is coating the outside of the tree with a mixture of plaster and white glue. The next thing I'm going to be doing is coating the outside, making bark using a mixture of white glue, plaster, and a little bit of brown acrylic paint, and put this on here. I mean, this is why I got this piece of styrofoam here, because I can just stick it in here and work on it, paint that stuff on. So I'm just going to leave that there for right now, and I'm going to move on to this. Anyway, I've got this little woodland scenes kit. Looked intriguing to see what I could do with it, and I've kind of taken this tree from Woodland Scenics kit, and it's I don't know, its branch structure is kind of limited, but I was thinking about this yesterday, and then all of a sudden I realized, hey, I can just go ahead and attach a couple of pieces of wire here, of the stranded wire, to kind of fill this out a little bit. Okay, because you can see here it's missing some branches, and it's just not terribly full. So I figure, okay, if I put maybe 2 or 3 pieces of the stranded wire on here and then coat it with that glue and plaster Paris mix, I can end up with a enhanced Woodland Scenics tree that looks a bit fuller. So someone was telling me in chat yesterday they had bought some of these Woodland Scenics trees and tried a couple and then threw them out. Threw them out. So if you have them, don't do it. I think these, if you're not happy with how they are, you can salvage them. You don't have to waste your investment. You can improve them using the stranded wire method. So let me go grab a piece. Here, all I do is get my wire cutter, cut the plastic a little bit, hold the pliers, hold it with the pliers from this end. I'm just going to pull this longer end off. I'm going to use a short piece as a handle. Keeps the wires from being unruly and falling apart and flying all over the place. And once I get this glued on, I'm just going to pull this off and trim things down. So I'm going to attach this little fellow here at the bottom. Let me bend this out of the way so a little more room to work with here towards the bottom. And I'm thinking I probably am going to have to give this a shot of acrylic paint with the airbrush, or if you have a can of spray paint, flat brown spray paint, you can take these trees. Yeah, I suppose even after, I have to see how well that goop works. I mean, there's some pictures from that tutorial, and it shows it covers up most of the bigger branches fairly well, but for the smaller branches, I think I'd like to try to get those colored brown too, just in case the leaves don't quite cover everything up. I don't want any of the copper showing through, so just give them a shot of spray paint. You don't need an airbrush for this. Just get a can of flat brown paint and just give this a shot. Or if you don't even want to bother putting that goop I was describing on the trunk, on the main leaders here, you could probably just paint it and be good with it. It depends. I suppose with trees that are going to be buried in a forest scene, you don't have to mess with trying to put bark on here. Just give it a shot of that flat brown paint and you'll be done with it. And put the foliage on there. So that's another time-saving option. Maybe just put that special bark covering for trees that are up front and visible.